It's good to see you today. We're going to be looking at when Noah planted a vineyard today. Our hymn is called Come My Soul, Thou Must Be Waking.
Come, my soul, thou must be waking, now is breaking o'er the earth another day. Come to Him who made this splendor, see the render all thy feeble strength can pay. Gladly hail the sun, returning, ready burning the incense of thy love. For the night is safely ended, God hath tended with His care thy helpless hours. Pray that He may prosper ever each endeavor where thine aim is good and true, and that He may ever thwart thee and convert thee when thou evil wouldst pursue. Mayst thou on life's last morrow, free from sorrow, pass away in slumber deep, and released from death's dark sadness, rise in gladness that for brighter sun to greet. Only God's free gifts abuse not, and refuse not, but His Spirit's voice obey. Thou with Him shalt dwell, beholding light enfolding all things in undoubted day.
Come, my soul, thou must be waking. Genesis 9, verse 18. Now the sons of Noah who went out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. Verse 20. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard, and then he drank of the wine and was drunk, and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Okay. A lot of different points we could speak about. We could talk about the issues of drunkenness and such things as that. What I wanted to key in on are Shem and Japheth's reaction. We have spoken in times past about Ham's reaction. But I want you to think about Shem and Japheth and how they conducted themselves as they took a garment, laid it on their shoulders, and went backwards. And what it becomes is a lesson about how we react when we hear about others' sin, when we hear about our brethren's sin, such things as that. And we do not excuse sin. But one thing you might notice, what they did, they went backwards so that they couldn't see him, so that they would not look upon the nakedness of their father. They turned away and they did not see him. And I think sometimes when it comes to sin, it's sort of like the old joke that's not really a joke. I wouldn't tell you something unless it's good, and boy, is this good. And it's like people who are fascinated by train wrecks, people who are fascinated by car wrecks, people who are fascinated by destruction and mayhem. And it's a little twisted like that, isn't it? Like the way we should be is we should not even want to see sin. We don't want to look upon it. We don't want to gaze upon it. And that we are hurt because they have brought this upon themselves in a sense. And so we avert our gaze as it is. What we also might think about is that they wanted to cover him up and do what they could to help him, to help their father. And it seems like there's a passage, was it in Romans chapter 12, where it talks about love? Oh, I might be wrong about that. But in Romans chapter 12, Romans 12 is the verse about do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. But I was thinking of the verse about love covers a multitude of sins. I would have to look it up. Let's just go do that. Where does it speak about love covers? Proverbs chapter 10 at verse 12. It says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all sins. I thought there was a verse in the New Testament that referenced that as well. And it's 1 Peter chapter 4 at verse 8. The end of all things is at hand, therefore be serious and watchful in your prayers, and above all things have fervent love for one another, for love will cover a multitude of sins. And so you might think about that idea, and I just appreciate that when this happens, they don't just let him sleep. They don't let him just sleep in the state that he is until he sleeps it off. And that they do what they can to cover it up, to cover him up as it is. So you might think about that idea. You might also think about, I wonder if Ham didn't come out and it says he told his two brothers outside. I wonder what sort of tone was in his voice when he told his brothers. And I appreciate their reaction because they are very humble. What Shem and Japheth are doing is very humble, and they do not want to bring shame upon themselves. They want to cover up his shame. And so when Noah awoke from his wine and knew what had happened, then you start having the prophecies. And these are prophecies. And because Shem and Japheth did this, they are blessed. Because they have humbled themselves, they are blessed. Because Ham did what he did, well, then his people were going to be servants. And so, blessed be the Lord. You might just notice that language, by the way. Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be. But then he says, blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant, and may God enlarge Japheth. God is connected, as it says, Shem and Japheth behaved in a godly manner. And God gives grace to the humble. God gives grace to the humble. And so I appreciate their attitude when they heard that their father had sinned. They behaved humbly. They didn't look upon him in the state he was in. They averted their eyes. They were discreet, and they did what they could to cover up his shame. And they were rewarded because of it. And so, back to our hymn, as it speaks about, "Come, my soul, thou must be waking. Now is breaking o'er the earth another day. Come to him who made the splendor." I let it go through all 5 verses just because the verses, "Gladly hail the sun returning," just made me think of Noah. "Ready burning be the incense of thy powers. For the night is safely ended, God hath tended with his care thy helpless hours." But then also there in verse 3, "And that he may ever thwart thee and convert thee when thou evil wouldst pursue." Might think about that as well. Come, my soul, thou must be waking. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.